Let's face it, the internet is a great source of information on all kinds of things, but it's also weeding through the information to find out what actually works and what doesn't. And this is especially important when it comes to dog training. We actually came across a video that showed a simple way to prevent your dog from jumping up on the furniture by covering it in foil. To test whether or not this is actually going to work, I have covered every piece of furniture in this room with aluminum foil. Will it work? Well, we're going to find out. But what I can tell you is I've got some great things that I'm going to show you on what actually will work to prevent your dog from jumping up on the couch. I'm Instructor Steve. Come here, Hip. Hop it up. This is Hippie Shake. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. When we saw this video, it was billed as a simple way to prevent your dog from jumping up on furniture. People are always wanting the shortcut or the magic bullet that can simply stop things from happening, but dogs don't work that way. They need to be trained, and that takes some time and consistency. And we also need to talk about the reasonable nature of the fix. Is it reasonable to have your entire living room covered in tinfoil? So let's say it does prevent my dog from jumping up on the furniture, which it clearly doesn't because Hippie is laying quietly on this tinfoil. We need to think about what else it looks like in life. What do I do when I have friends over? Where are they gonna sit? And what happens when the tinfoil's not there? If I do want to clear the tinfoil off so that my friends can sit down, is my dog really going to know that they shouldn't jump up on the furniture? And then there are the safety concerns that go along with leaving tinfoil all over your house. What if your dog happens to ingest this tinfoil? Or what, again, if you have a sound-sensitive dog that's very worried by the crinkle of this sound and they get scared and there becomes an association with that sound anytime they hear it? It's important to keep in mind as dog owners about what this is or is not actually teaching our dogs. And I can tell you it's not actually teaching our dogs anything. It might in the moment prevent the dog from jumping up, but then again, what do I do once I've taken it off? Do I then put out a whole new roll of aluminum foil to prevent my dog from jumping up? Or what do I do if my dog decides they like the taste of aluminum foil? Because let's face it, dogs eat a lot of stuff. So we need to look at how we can teach our dogs not to be on the furniture in the first place until we invite them. And that's the big thing. I like to have dogs on the furniture in my house, and I'm gonna give you some tips on how to get there. In my house, I enjoy having my dogs up on the furniture with me. They're allowed to be on the couch or in the chair, hanging out when we're watching TV. And you may want that for your dog in your house, but it's really important that your dog understand the difference between being invited up on the couch to hang out and deciding on their own that the couch is their new playground. This furniture is a bit of a reward. Your young dog being up on the same level as you, where they can decide to crawl in your lap or do all sorts of things, is not the best position to put them in. So we're going to teach our dogs some other skills instead. And once the dogs understand those skills, then I can start to loosen the reins and invite her up to have that reward. So how do we prevent our dogs from jumping up on the furniture unless invited? Well, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna supervise them. When our puppies are out of their crate, we're gonna actively have eyes on them. We're gonna encourage you to put a leash or a line on the dog so that you take away their ability to make those kind of decisions. Good girl, Hip. That's very, very nice. This allows me to interrupt anything I don't like and takes away her ability to reward herself for jumping on the furniture. And when my dogs are actually out of their crate, it's very rare they're left to their own devices. I don't give them the freedom to run and jump on the couch and reward themselves. I'm actively training them. I'm teaching them to sit. I'm teaching them to lie down. I'm teaching them to respond to their name. And bigger picture, I'm teaching them that I have value. So instead of them thinking that the couch is the best place to be, they start to learn that I'm more fun and I'm more engaging than the simple piece of furniture is. So once I've done a little training and I've given my dogs a little exercise, it's important that we take a break. I will take the dog and I'll just put them in their crate, let them have a little nap. And when I have a little bit of time, once I've done the other things that I need to do, I can come back and give my dog that great focused attention. So when I do have time for training, there are a couple of things that I start really early with my puppies. And I will teach them where to go. I give them a spot in the room that's valuable, that is at my direction. I don't allow them to jump up on the couch or the other furniture. That's gonna come later. And one of the things I will do is I will get a bed, I will put it close to where I wanna sit, because that way I can relax a little bit too. And I'm gonna use a little bit of food to encourage that dog into that spot. Now with these young, busy dogs, we're gonna build a ton of value by rewarding very often. But as my dog gets a little bit more adept and comfortable with that position, I can start to wean away from that reward. So I can just take a little food, I can lure my dog onto that bed, I can ask her to lie down, and then I can simply, yes, and reward her. Good girlie, very good job. And at first, I'm building a ton of value quickly, but the more able she is to hold position, the more I can space out the rewards. Good girl, Hip, excellent job. Now she's really excited by this. I've got some pretty high value treats treats here. But this is something I also actually will take part of my dog's meal and do. Instead of using high value treats all the time, I'm gonna feed them that food anyway. So why not use it to create some value for holding position? I can reward her over and over. Now, if she were to get up, there's a couple important things to happen. I have the leash or the line in my hand, so okay, you can get up. Let's say she wanted to wander off and check something else out. I've limited her options on where she can go. I've got this line in my hand. I'm not gonna scold her or do anything other than simply encourage her back to this bed, encourage her to lie down, and build more value here. I take away her options in one hand, but I build a ton of value for this. And this makes a big difference in teaching them that just chilling out nearby me is a really, really good thing instead of chilling out on me. Now, one of the big things to keep in mind, that a big part of good dog training is good leadership. And what I'm setting is an expectation that says, I'm gonna direct everything. I'm doing it fairly, I'm doing it clearly, I'm helping my dog to be right, instead of putting them in a situation where they're making mistake after mistake and I'm having to get after them for it. Taking the time to teach my dog where to go when I want gives them that ability and that understanding. Now, once my dog does understand that chilling out on the bed is where I want them to be, I can start to change my expectation a little bit and give her permission to be up on the couch with me. Now, keep in mind, this is all about permission. This is all about me deciding that it's okay for her to jump up. And Hippie, of course, is doing a great job at this now, and your dog will start to figure this out quickly too. So now I can start to say, okay, Hip, I can encourage her, hop it up, hop it up, hop it up. Yay, good girl, excellent job. Now in this particular scenario, I've given her permission, I've encouraged her to come up. I still have her leash or her line on because I don't want her being crazy. I don't want her having a party up here, but I can calmly praise her and I can calmly pet her. And I can also now start to teach her to get off the couch when I want her to. So she's been invited up. I can pet her for being up here. Then I can take a little food. I can tell her, okay, Hip, off. Yes, good girl. And I can reward her for coming off the couch. Good girl. Good off. Yes, good off. Now, off is my word for not being on the couch. Down is lie down, off means get off. And I can start to now spend some time teaching when it's okay to jump up. And more importantly, when I ask you to get off the furniture, you need to get off. Okay, hop it up. Yes, good girl. Excellent. Good job. What a good puppy dog. Hooray. Good girl. Very good. Good. Off. Yes, good girl. Excellent, good puppers, hooray. Now, giving your dog permission to be up on the couch is a privilege and something that as they are learning, you may need to take away and add back in. If you find that your dog's starting to make decisions on their own or maybe not listen as well in general, I can go back to being a little bit more specific about my direction. I can insist that they lie on the bed and build more value for that and really make sure they understand that they do need to wait for my permission to come up on the furniture. This is all about consistency in your dog training. If you find the dogs are taking advantage of the freedoms that you're giving them, you need to be more specific with them. You need to be there to supervise them and you need to be directing them off the couch if they're taking advantage of those situations. The idea for this video came from something that we found on the internet. The internet is a great place, but when you're taking information from the internet, it's really important to say, does this make sense for me and my dog? Chances are, if you're struggling with your dog jumping up on furniture, you're gonna be struggling with them jumping up on other things in life too. Now, if you want to learn more about how to prevent dogs from jumping up on people, check out the video that I did here with a golden retriever named Emmett, and I taught him not to jump up on me. Now, if you're struggling with your dog training and you'd like specific information tailored to you and your dog, click the link in the description below to our online training programs. With that, I'm Steve. This is Little Hippie Shake. Happy training.